get set for the Packers and the Vikings here in Minneapolis on the campus of the University of Minnesota on a 48-degree afternoon. Pretty comfortable down there, huh, Goose?
Oh, Kenny, not bad at all. You know, Kenny, when I look at this game, Aaron Rodgers, he's been on fire the last 2 weeks. He's got 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 656 yards. I mean, it's unbelievable. You ask yourself why. What's the reason? I know the reason. It's Eddie Lacy in that run game. Something that this team has not had in a long time. I got a chance to talk to Aaron during warm-ups, and he told me that the run game has allowed him to be so much more aggressive downfield. And you know what? That spells trouble for any defense in the NFL.
All right, thanks, Goose. Mike McCarthy's Packers have won 2 straight, 6 of their last 7. They put up 55 points on Chicago and then 53 against the Eagles last week. Mike Zimmer in his first season as Vikings head coach, longtime defensive coordinator with Dallas, Atlanta, and Cincinnati. The Vikings won the toss, elect to defer. So Blair Walsh will get things started. DeJuan Harris and Micah Hyde back deep for the Packers.
You know, Kenny, you talked about the weather. One thing, it's a noon game and the lights are on in the stadium to give you a little bit of idea of what the weather's like. A little gray down here, a little bit of fog, but great conditions for both of these teams.
All right, we are underway here in Minneapolis as Harris takes a knee. So the Packers, who lead the entire league, averaging 33 points per game. Offense let out onto the field by quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
And I agree with what Tony talked about with Aaron Rodgers and him being aggressive because of the running game. The defense has to respect what they can do with Eddie Lacy, but that's not going to change his approach. He says we're an aggressive, down-the-field passing offense. Yeah, it's great to have Eddie Lacy behind me, but we're never going to stray too far from what we are at our core, and that's an explosive passing offense.
Packers start from their 20 with 3 wide receivers. Rodgers on first down, dumps it off to the fullback, John Kuhn. And Kuhn is out to the 29-yard line, gain of 9 on first down as we take a look at this high-flying Green Bay offense.
And a lot of it has to do with those guys up front, the starting 5, able to stay together the majority of the year. Brian Bulaga misses week 2, but that's it. Jordy Nelson and Aaron Rodgers have developed a chemistry that's virtually impossible to defend for defenses.
On second and short, it's Lacy, and Eddie Lacy picks up a first down out to the 32. Vikings defense ranked 31st a year ago, currently number 12.
They're doing a nice job up front, and they're not getting a lot of credit, but one person that does respect them is Aaron Rodgers. He understood that the last time they played earlier this season, it was 28-0 at half, but that got away from them right at the end of the half with some turnovers. They forced 5 3-and-outs in that first half against the Packers.
Green Bay won the game 42-10. Vikings without starting defensive tackle Sharif Floyd today. 3 receivers set off the fake to Lacy. Rodgers can't find anyone. He's forced back, directing traffic, and now will take off. Gains 4 out to the 36.
And just another one of the things that you have to guard against when you play Aaron Rodgers. You can have a great coverage scheme and everybody's picked up on the back end and he extends the play. He gets to the outside. This is a well-done job by the Minnesota Vikings right here because that's when Aaron Rodgers is at his most dangerous. He's broken contain. He's out on the right side looking to throw the ball downfield.
He had a couple of 16-yard runs last Sunday against Philadelphia. On second and 6, it's Lacy. Gain of just 1. Out to the 37-yard line. Setting up third down and 5.
And I think with Aaron Rodgers out of the lineup last year and the productivity of Eddie Lacy during that time in the running game, that people may have thought, hey, Green Bay is going to become a more balanced offense, and they got rid of that notion early on this season. And they use him as a changeup. They'll force defenses to account for him, and that's when Aaron Rodgers can exploit the secondary.
Play clock winding down. 3rd and 5 for the Packers. Rodgers throws near side. It's incomplete. Intended for Devontae Adams. So Green Bay will punt it away.
That's two examples during the course of this opening series for the Packers where the Minnesota defense was forced to extend their coverage quite a long time, and they did a good job of plastering the receivers. You see, everybody's going to be covered. Aaron Rodgers is trying to go for that back shoulder throw. Felt there was a little bit of contact at the top of that route.
In their last 4 games, Darryl, coming into this one, Packers had punted only 2 times in the first half combined over 4 games. Marcus Sherrills from the 16. And he's tackled at the 21-yard line. A return of 5. 47-yard punt. Vikings on offense when we come back.
Game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Teddy Bridgewater, rookie out of Louisville, makes his 7th start. Vikings start from the 21, 2 tight ends. Jerick McKinnon is the running back. Bridgewater on first down to the tight end, Kyle Rudolph, who returned last week after missing 6 games. And Rudolph gains 23 yards out to the 44.
Yeah, and that's another obstacle that this offense has had to overcome because they haven't been able to have Kyle Rudolph in the lineup, and he's going to be a good friend to a young quarterback in that tight end spot. You can see he's still not 100% as he's running after the catch, suffering that sports hernia earlier this year.
I'll tell you what, he's a huge target, though, running across the middle of that field.
At 6'6", Goose, only his 11th reception of the season. First carry for McKinnon. Up the middle, gain of 3. A.J. Hawk, the tackle.
When you're a young offense in transition, the one thing you don't have is a very large margin for error. So we can't have penalties. You can't have drop balls. You can't have the mental mistakes, negative runs to put you behind the chains. And that's going to be critical for this offense today for the Minnesota Vikings. They've got to stay on schedule so they don't get behind and allow that Packer defense to bring pressure.
The 30th ranked offense in the NFL. 2nd down and 7. Felted in at fullback. Off the fake to McKinnon. Bridgewater rolling right. And then he throws it out of bounds in the vicinity of the former Packer draft pick, Charles Johnson. Green Bay ranked 25th defensively.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of talk about what this Green Bay offense is doing, but it's really a complementary style of team football. This defense has been outstanding. The addition of Julius Peppers paired with Clay Matthews, bringing in LaTroy Guion. This is a group that has really improved this year. They're taking the ball away, getting it back in the hands of that explosive offense and scoring touchdowns on their own.
3 touchdowns the last 2 games for the Green Bay defense, and they are 2nd in the league in takeaways. 3rd down and 7. Vikings must get to the Packers 46, and they will not. That pass intended for Johnson, and Bridgewater took a hit. Vikings will punt it away.
That's a nice job by Teddy Bridgewater standing in the pocket and making the throw, but he's got to have the connection here because this is going to pop open on the opposite side. We're going to get all the way to that back side, and Charles Johnson is going to be open right there. Look at how wide open he is in that situation. You've got to make that throw and catch.
Jeff Locke punting to Randall Cobb, who calls for a fair catch at the 17-yard line. So each team with 1 possession, 1 first down, and a punt.
This game is sponsored by Budweiser, America's smoothest lager.
Back in Minneapolis, 2nd possession for the Packers. They start from their 17-yard line. Wallace, the tight end, lined up in the backfield to the right of Rodgers. The handoff to Lacy, and he found a hole. Eddie Lacy picks up a first down out to the 29, a gain of 12.
And it's really kind of what this offense forces you to do with the emergence of Eddie Lacy in the running game. It's kind of a simple box count. You look right here, you've got your 7. Well, that's what we want. You've got a guy hanging back there, but he's leaving that front. And that's what Green Bay is going to take advantage of. If you're going to show them that, Aaron Rodgers had a lot of flexibility at the line of scrimmage to get into the correct play.
Right guard T.J. Lang injured on the play.
He and Josh Sitton really been toughing it out the last couple of weeks with some nagging injuries. And we talked about how important having those starting 5 together has been. And hope that TJ Lang is just down here for 1 or 2 plays.
So while the Packers medical staff chats with Lang, we head to Los Angeles for a game break. Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
All right. It's hard to beat this for a quick touchdown. Opening kickoff in Philadelphia. Josh Huff, 107-yard score for the Eagles. The 10th touchdown they've had by unit other than their offense this year. And they're just starting their 11th game. They're up 7-0 right now against Tennessee. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Wow, so yet another return touchdown for Philadelphia as Lang exits. He'll be replaced by Lane Taylor. You talked about the continuity, Darryl. The starting 5 have been together for 9 of the 10 games coming into this one. Now 10 of 11, but Lang exits early in the first quarter. From the 29 on first down, it's Lacy, looks to cut it back inside. And gains a couple out to the 31. Robert Blanton coming up from the strong safety spot to make the tackle.
Yeah, one thing that defensive line for Minnesota is doing a really good job is keeping their shoulders square on the line of scrimmage, not turning. Eddie Lacy's reading them up on that line of scrimmage. So if he sees a shoulder turn, he's going to cut right back. But he's been doing a nice job of going and being a little bit patient on that defensive line.
Second down and 8. Movement prior to the snap. It's a false start.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
The right tackle, Brian Bulaga.
Wasn't because he didn't hear the count. It's been pretty quiet here in the stadium.
I think it's going to be one of the fun things during the process of the game is what happens at the line of scrimmage. Aaron Rodgers has the ability to get into the play and change protection, but Minnesota and Mike Zimmer style of defense, they'll change their blitz schemes. They'll change their twist based on what the quarterback says, so we'll have to see how much control Aaron tries to cover up at that line.
Second down and 13 following the penalty. Rodgers' pass is caught, taken out to the 37-yard line by the rookie out of Fresno State, who led the nation in receptions last year, Devontae Adams, and he gains 11.
Very slow getting up, now jogging off to the side. No, he's back, he's still there. But he's definitely not 100% right now.
Now he's heading towards the sidelines, but remains in the game. Third down and 2, it is Lacy. And Eddie Lacy picks up a Packers first down out to the 40.
Lacy carries to the 40.
One of the things that people talked about last week with the Packers was getting out of balance run pass. You can see this week it's 6 rushes to 3 passes. It's really based on what the defense is doing. Philadelphia was going to allow them to throw the football. That's the way they started that game. Mike McCarthy is not worried about balance within the game. He's worried about scoring points.
On first and 10, pass is intended for Jordy Nelson. Xavier Rhodes on the coverage. Second and 10 coming up for the Packers on their second possession of the game.
It's a little bit of that same philosophy that we've heard Chip Kelly talk about. You know, sometimes we want to look at a game and how it was played and look at how many runs and how many passes. And a lot of these coaches now, it's about points. We love the fact that we can do both successfully, but it's all dependent on what the defense is doing. We're going to attack them with our best options.
The late handoff to Lacy on second down, and he breaks free. Eddie Lacy out to midfield.
So what the Minnesota Vikings are doing right now is they're dropping 2 safeties back deep to protect themselves against this explosive passing game. So now Aaron Rodgers at the line of scrimmage, even in that long yardage situation, just handing the ball off to Eddie Lacy. That's their matchup in that style of coverage.
Third down and 1. Rodgers jump throw, and it's broken up. It's Rhodes again on the coverage. Packers wanted a flag.
Xavier Rhodes is playing really well right here at the start of the game. Tight coverage on several occasions. We've seen, look at that, step for step, head around, working back with Jordy Nelson to the ball. And good pressure up front by that Minnesota defensive line. They kind of collapsed that pocket and force that throw out a little quick.
Now a decision for Mike McCarthy on 4th and short, and he will send out the punting unit with the play clock winding down. Second punt here in the first quarter. Haste lets it go. And it will be downed inside the 10. The Packers punt for the second time, but they pin the Vikings deep.
This game on Fox is sponsored by Pizza Hut. We're taking pizza where it's never been before. By T-Mobile, changing the game of wireless. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Scoreless in Minneapolis. Midway through the first quarter. Second possession for the Vikings. From their 10-yard line, this is McKinnon. And he is swallowed up by Josh Boyd.
The Vikings trying to get some open formations to get a favorable count there, to get this running game going. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes before the Packers really just start to commit that extra defender into the box to get a +1 situation to shut that running game down, really force Teddy Bridgewater to win this game throwing the football.
On second down, Bridgewater's pass is caught for a first down out to the 23-yard line. It's the tight end, Chase Ford.
This nice job by Teddy Bridgewater because he's looking to his left initially, and then he's going to come back to the right and find Chase Ford coming out of that 3 tight end bunch. Good quick throw.
Yeah, those linebackers bid on that early, him looking left.
First and 10 from the 23, it's McKinnon. McKinnon out to the 27-yard line, gain of 4. There's Ben Tate, brought in by the Vikings earlier this week after his release by the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, very nice move by the Minnesota Vikings. Matt Asiata is out today, still not recovered from that concussion last week, so a little thin there. Very fortunate to have the opportunity to grab a guy like Ben Tate at this point in the season.
We have not yet seen Greg Jennings on the field. He is in uniform, has his helmet on. The former Packer bothered by a rib injury this week. As Bridgewater under pressure, and he throws it away. Took a hit from Morgan Burnett.
Yeah, this thing collapses on Teddy Bridgewater very quickly. You like to see young quarterbacks with the ability to step up, but you can see right there, there's nowhere to go. He's got to peel and then get out the back. Does a nice job of getting outside. No, he did not get outside the pocket. Yep. They threw the grounding flag right there.
Intentional grounding. Offense, quarterback. Penalties 10 yards from the previous spot. Plus a loss of down. Brings up third down.
If he gets outside of that tackle box and gets it beyond the line of scrimmage, he can avoid that penalty. But
he was close, though. He needed 1 or 2 more steps. He would have been there.
And this is the situation. We talked about no negative plays and a small margin for error. Just something as simple as that. The inability to get that ball thrown, it's just incomplete. Not even a completion, but just getting it thrown cleanly incomplete so you don't have the penalty.
Loss of 16 on the intentional grounding. Jennings on the field. In the slot, Johnson split wide to the right. It is third down and 22. The handoff to McKinnon. And now the Vikings will punt it away for the second time.
And they're going to bring him back a little bit. That elbow was down for Jerick McKinnon. But again, there's nothing wrong with this right here. You know, you had the penalty that puts you in a bad situation, but to be able to come in and have the clean punt, and you see the elbow down right there, the left elbow down, so the runner is down at that point. But now it's up to your punt coverage team. You've got to get down there and, again, keep this Packer offense, this explosive Packer offense, on as long a field as possible.
Micah Hyde returned to punt for a touchdown last week against Philadelphia. Good kick by Locke, taken out the 29 by Hyde. And Hyde with a nice return out across the 45. So good field position for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers following The 54-yard punt, 17-yard return. Breaking news, the Packers have punted on their first 2 possessions. They start from the 46. TJ Lang back in at right guard. James Starks in the backfield for the first time today. This is Starks, cuts to the outside, turns the corner, and then the ball comes loose at the end of the play. Packers recover back in the 42.
It's amazing how everybody attacks the ball. Once you're stood up, it's trouble time right now, and looks like he still had possession when his knee was down. But again, let's just go back to that last series by Green Bay. They had that decision on the 4th and less than 1 out near midfield. Again, this is the complementary style of football that they're playing. An explosive offense, but a much improved defense this season with the addition of Julius Peppers. They get the ball back right around that same area with a fresh set of downs because of their defense.
A loss of 4 as Rodgers with the quick release finds Nelson, but Josh Robinson right there to make the tackle. Time for a game break. Kurt.
Well, here's something we haven't seen in quite a while. Matt Ryan of the Falcons looking up at Julio Jones, 24-yard touchdown. They lead Cleveland 7-0. That's Julio's first touchdown since week 3. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Falcons in first place at 4-6. If the playoffs had started today, Atlanta would host 7-3 Green Bay. How about that?
Got to fix that playoff system, Kenny.
3rd down and 10. Rodgers steps up and fires, and it's Randall Cobb. Cobb down at the 25-yard line, a 29-yard pass play on 3rd and 10, a Packers first down.
Well, Mike Zimmer knew that they were going to have to play tight coverage today, and they've done a nice job. Captain Munnerlyn there, he's going to be underneath. Look at the throw by Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it just spot on, perfect spot for that throw.
Cobb in the slot from the 25-yard line, the handoff to Lacy. And Lacy gains a couple down to the 23. Tom Johnson makes the tackle.
And you have to understand, this offense is functioning so well right now that you can do everything right, and they're still going to make a play. Look at the coverage. Look at the window that Aaron Rodgers fits that ball into. That's like I said before, with him and Jordy, with him and Randall Cobb. You know, sometimes it's just indefensible.
He sees Munnerlyn never get his head back around.
2nd down and 8 from the Vikings 23. Off the fake to Lacy. It's the tight end, Corliss. Stays on his feet. First down and more. Andrew Corliss to the Minnesota 7.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer talked to us about 2 things. We've got to play tight coverage, and we've got to tackle well. They struggled with their tackling against Chicago last week. There's Anthony Barr again. You've got to wrap up all the way down to the legs. You're too high. You started your tackle up around the shoulders.
Packers lead the league in first quarter points. 1st and goal from the 7 off the fake to Lacy. Rodgers looking end zone. He throws, and there is a flag. Nelson, the intended receiver. Harrison Smith defending.
Pass interference. Defense, number 22. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball we placed at the 1-yard line. First down, Green Bay.
You can see right there, and again, a credit to Aaron Rodgers and his escapability. He extended that play, and Harrison Smith has no option but to grab a hold because Jordy Nelson's got him beat going back to the inside.
Packers now send in a fullback and 3 tight ends. 1st and goal from the 1. Lacy over the top for a Green Bay touchdown.
I just think the back and forth here at the beginning of this game is what Mike McCarthy likes to see his guys do with complementary football. Not panicking. We expect, fireworks when the Green Bay Packers offense is out there. And Minnesota's defense is doing a nice job, and they force them to punt, but they just play that complementary style. Eventually, you're going to make a mistake. We're going to bottle you up in your own end. We're going to get the ball near midfield because of a punt return or special teams, and then we're going to make you pay for it.
Mason Crosby, the extra point. Eddie Lacy with 6 rushing touchdowns this season, 3 of the 6 against the Vikings. The Green Bay Packers have scored 108 points over their last 2 games against Chicago and Philadelphia. Only the 5th team in NFL history to put up at least 50 in back-to-back games.
It's been impressive to watch, and a lot of those points coming in the first half. I mean, just explosive out of the gates, and you've got to guard against that against this Packer team right now.
They did not score on their opening possession today for the first time in 6 games, but lead 7-0. Cordero Patterson on the return out to the 27.
It was a nice ebb and flow for the first couple of series, back and forth. And then on that last series, Green Bay really puts together a nice drive to get the touchdown. Now, Teddy Bridgewater and his group, they have to come out, they have to respond. Again, do you have to have points? No, but you can't come out here and do a 3-and-out. You can't put the Packers back on the field right away. You've got to have some productivity with your offense on this series.
Bridgewater missed the previous game against the Packers with an ankle injury. It was Christian Ponder's only start of the season. Matt Castle started the first 3 games before fracturing his left foot. 7th start for Bridgewater, and his pass is high, intended for Jarius Wright.
And opportunities for plays to be made. We had Charles Johnson with one early in the game. Jarius Wright on the top of the screen. Good push, gets a separation, that's open. It's an easy throw catch, and we're just not doing it. And it's the growing pains of a young offense learning a new system.
Big cushion here by Devon House, man. He's got to go and hug up a little bit. 12-yard cushion is not going to work.
On 2nd and 10 up the middle, it's McKinnon. Gain of 5, so it will be 3rd down and 5 for the Vikings as we approach 1 minute remaining in this first quarter.
And again, this kind of shows you, we've talked about the explosive capabilities as Green Bay offense, but they can get into this grinded out style too. You see the time of possession in favor of them. It's been a lot of Eddie Lacy today, some short passes offensively.
Joe Banyard now in the backfield, 3rd down and 5. Jennings in motion. Bridgewater steps up and takes off. He picks up a first down and slides down at the 42. So Bridgewater on 3rd and 5, able to gain 11.
And that's a good recognition of the coverage that Green Bay's playing. He's going to understand that we've got man coverage. There's going to be backs turned to me. As soon as he gets to the outside, he sees the open field and takes it right away. No hesitation, no trying to feather that ball into anybody.
Vikings do not have to run a play as time winds down in this first quarter here in Minneapolis. A 1-yard touchdown run by Eddie Lacy, accounting for the only scoring to this point. So after 1, it's the Packers over the Vikings, 7-0. Yes, it is the first Vikings-Packers game in Minnesota outdoors since November of '81. Packers out to a 7-0 lead. New set of downs for the Vikings. Bridgewater rolling right, throws, and it's off the hands of Johnson. In that last outdoor game between these clubs in the state of Minnesota, Darryl, Packers won 35-23. Big day for James Lofton. Ahmad Rashad with a 50-yard touchdown reception for the Vikings.
Does that make me old if I'm very familiar with those names 33 years ago?
They were our heroes back then.
Packers defense had 5 interceptions in that game as well. Out across midfield, it is Joe Banyard. That is his first career carry. 2nd year back out of Texas El Paso.
And I tell you right now, what's impressive with these running backs for the Minnesota Vikings, they're having incompletes on 1st down, and they're coming back to the run on 2nd down, and they're still staying in good positions. This is 3rd and 2. They've got the 3rd and 4, so they're being very effective on that 2nd and 10 situation running the ball.
Got a look at McKinnon and Tate on the sidelines. Again, it is Banyard, and he picks up a 1st down. Minnesota without Matt Asiata today. And of course, Adrian Peterson, it was announced earlier this week, suspended for the remainder of the season. And his appeal hearing has been set for December the 2nd.
Yeah, and it's been a big challenge because at the beginning of the season, here I am thinking Adrian Peterson in a Norv Turner offensive system, the numbers are going to be spectacular because I think he gets a lot of credit for his passing game, but you have to go back. Remember the running backs that have been in Norv Turner systems, 5 rushing champions in that offense.
Bridgewater fires and Johnson unable to make the catch.
He's throwing good balls. They're just not catching those balls out there, man. Those receivers need to help Bridgewater out a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit of everything right now. When the ball's thrown on target, we're not getting the completion, or we're just a little bit off target on some of the throws, and we're not making the difficult catch, but it hasn't been clean right now in the passing game. Some tight coverage by Tramon Williams right there.
Bridgewater just 2 of 8 to start this game. Bridgewater on 2nd and 10. It's the tight end Ellison, but A.J. Hawk right there to break it up.
There's a tight end coming right across in the middle of the field. A.J. Hawk with the tight coverage there, and that pocket starting to collapse a little bit. You love to have a go-to guy in this situation as an offense, and right now nobody's really kind of asserted themselves on the outside at the tight end position as somebody that Teddy Bridgewater can go to in a critical situation at points in the game.
3rd down and 10. Bridgewater steps up. There is a flag. Bridgewater tackled at the 39, about 5 yards shy of the marker by Casey Hayward.
Mike McCarthy trying to figure out whether to accept the penalty, considering where the field position could be, whether the Vikings would try and go for it on 4th if he declined it.
Illegal shift, offense. 2 men were moving and didn't get reset prior to snap. That penalty's declined, brings up 4th down.
So it's 4th and 5 from the 39, and now Mike Zimmer will leave his offense on the field.
And that's what Green Bay forces you to do. You're in this position right now. You're kind of in no man's land here. Very, very long field goal that gives you the ball back at the spot of the kick. If you miss it, this offense so explosive, you don't want to turn it back over to him. Can you execute that punt in without losing a huge net by kicking it into the end zone?
Vikings must get to the 34 for a 1st down. Bridgewater on 4th and 5. Airing it out. There is a flag as it is picked off by Morgan Burnett. Basically the same as a punt. But we'll check in with Clete Blakeman.
Looks like it's going to be holding on defense, guys.
They've got triple coverage on Cordero Patterson, so no reason to hold in that situation. He was bracketed 3 ways. Inside, outside, over the top.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 33. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. 1st down, Minnesota.
Yeah, it happens early in this route right here, Darryl.
That's Micah Hyde, 33, grabs hold of Cordero Patterson.
You're exactly right. You have double coverage, help over the top. No reason to go and try and slow him down.
Yeah, even if you got beat on the release and he got on top of you, just let him go because you had safety help over the top.
So the Vikings elect to go for it on 4th and 5, draw a flag. 10th play of the drive for Minnesota from the 34. McKinnon tackled from behind by Julius Peppers.
Oh boy, he's really blossoming in this defense. It's interesting to hear a guy at this stage of his career very excited because people are finally starting to use me the way I always wanted to be. Yep. And as successful as Julius Peppers has been, you'd be like, well, what does that mean? I mean, a stand-up outside linebacker in a 3-4 as opposed to that 4-3 defensive end. He's loving all the different things that defensive coordinator Dom Capers is doing with him.
Bridgewater to the outside, another high throw. This one is caught by Jennings. So the former Packer, Greg Jennings, goes up and brings it down. Gains 9.
Yeah, well done by Greg Jennings on the outside. Watch this. It's a high ball. He goes up and gets it, and it's timed well by Tramon Williams right there to make the contact. So good job with the concentration and then the strong hands at the point of the catch.
Jennings, who scored 2 touchdowns for the Packers in Super Bowl 45. 3rd down and 1. Bridgewater throws. The pass is off the mark. He was looking for the tight end, Ellison. So now another 4th down for Minnesota. This would be a 43-yard attempt, but it looks like Mike Zimmer will leave his offense on the field once again on 4th down.
I take some points and get some positive emotion, some positive feeling with my offense right now. I'd chicken out right now and go for the field goal.
4th down and 1, and McKinnon picks up a 1st down. So Zimmer gambles and wins as the Vikings again get a new set of downs.
They had some penetration inside. The Green Bay Packers are going to get a little bit of a push right here, but it's just a good job by the running back. Actually, Josh Boyd from the defensive tackle spot beats inside. Jerick McKinnon does a good job of bouncing that out. One more hole, get the yardage for the 1st down.
Yeah, you had a defensive tackle and A.J. Hawk go in the same gap. And there was one void. That's exactly what McKinnon found and got that 1st down.
McKinnon over 500 yards on the ground this season. 2nd among rookies. He's replaced by Banyard. 1st and 10 from the Green Bay 22. Bridgewater to the end zone. Touchdown, Charles Johnson.
Charles Johnson, the release right there. Tramon Williams, I don't know if he thought that he had help from behind, but he was very casual with his coverage at the beginning. And a good throw catch. Charles Johnson and Teddy Bridgewater for the touchdown.
Walsh, the extra point. Johnson holding on to the football. It's his first NFL touchdown, and it comes against the team that drafted him last year in the 7th round, the Green Bay Packers.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Sprint, by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. And by Visa Checkout, the easier way to pay online. Visa, everywhere you want to be.
New stadium under construction here in Minneapolis at the site of the old Metrodome. The project is 23% complete. Over 600 workers on site daily. There it is, scheduled to open in 2016, and then in February of 2018, Super Bowl 52 here in Minneapolis.
Now, what a beautiful facility that is going to be when it's completed.
Not just the same old stadium, completely different.
It will also host the Final Four in 2019. Bridgewater to Charles Johnson. They'll be at the new stadium in 2 years. Tied at 7 in Minneapolis. Packers punted on their first 2 possessions, Darryl, for the first time since week 1 against Seattle.
And you can see the pressure they put on you. You're putting them back at the 20, inside their 20, and then they have that defensive stand, force the punt, get that ball out near midfield, and then right down the field for that touchdown.
Packers start from the 20. Rodgers, loads of time, can't find anyone. Picks up a 1st down. Might not want to take a look at that slide on video during the week.
No, that was a complete indecision right there. Should I slide? Should I go head first? I don't know what I'm going to do. Next thing you know, you're almost doing a somersault. But it's one of the areas that I, again, his escapability, his ability to extend plays during the course of a game, and then right there, I mean, last week, he averaged 10 yards a carry when he decided to pull the ball down against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Gain of 15 for Rodgers. Now he throws out to the 47-yard line. It's Jordy Nelson, his second catch today. He is over 1,000 yards for the third time in the last 4 years.
Again, we've talked about Minnesota having to play tight coverage. Xavier Rhodes is right there, and look at the throw catch between Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson.
Ride the waves. From the 47, the toss to Lacey. Not much.
You know, he has so much fun with the game. It's part of it, but this offense, yeah, I mean, look at what they have done. You know, we've talked about it here, and this is so impressive by this offense at the start of the game. So credit to Minnesota's defense right now.
How about that bottom line? 19 touchdowns, no interceptions in the first half.
And I think that's to throw off the Minnesota defense. You know, they're going to adjust to any Mike designations or calls he's doing. So Aaron Rodgers told us, he goes, sometimes I'm not going to do anything, but I can't really point at them to let them know what we're doing. So I guess that surfing balancing thing is his new signal.
Second down and 10. Packers just getting the snap away, and the pass deflects off the hand of Devontae Adams as we head to Los Angeles for a game break with Joel Klatt. Joel?
All right, Kenny, up to New England, and the former Patriots Steeler now back with the Patriots. LeGarrette Blount signed on Thursday into the end zone, 3-yard TD run. Patriots up 14-6. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
Thanks, Joel. The Packers keeping a close eye on that score. Green Bay and Detroit with identical 7-3 records atop the NFC North. Packers must get to the Vikings 43 for a first down as Rodgers fires downfield from Nelson. But he was out of bounds. And there is a flag.
Offense, number 69. 10-yard penalty. Replay third down.
That's on the left tackle, David Bakhtiari.
Working against Everson Griffin, who's had a great start to this year. But on the sideline, Jordy Nelson, if not the best, one of the best at his feet along the sideline. You don't see that very often, where Jordy Nelson finds himself out of bounds on a catch.
Now the Vikings looking to decline the penalty.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. It would have been fourth down. It was 3rd and 9 going into it.
The penalty is declined, brings up fourth down.
Mike Blakeman initially announced that it will be a loss of yardage and a third down, but Mike Zimmer, of course, elects to decline the penalty, so the Packers will punt for the third time in this first half. Packers have more offensive touchdowns than punts this year.
Well, there was some concern from Aaron Rodgers. He was one of the first people to say, listen, the last time we played him, if you look at the score, you thought it was an easy game. But that game got away from Minnesota late in that first half. They were playing well defensively against us up until those big turnovers at the end of the half.
Marcus Sherrill's back deep. Neste punting from his 38-yard line. End-over-end kick. And a fair catch is called for at the 12 by Sherrills.
This game is sponsored by Ford. Beautiful things happen when you go further.
Goose, are you even impressed by these guys? It's 48 degrees.
48 degrees. You know, you got a cheese head on the one side, and then you got the Vikings guy. You know, they're just trying to impress each other. They don't have enough meat on them. Too skinny. I want to see him in minus 48.
There's McKinnon on first down. We were in Kansas City last week for the Seahawks and the Chiefs. It was 19 degrees. It feels like summer today.
It really does. That's it.
Yeah, you can't be pointing the finger out there, the guys. You know, if it's only 48, what are you doing with that long jacket on there, Chief?
I got my Spanx on. I don't want to, show everything underneath there. So I'm trying to look big. I'm getting too skinny, man. I'm losing too much weight.
Did I hear that correctly? I'm trying to look big.
Yeah, I'm trying. Got ankle weights on, Kenny.
Second down and 6. Bridgewater hit as he throws. And it is nearly picked off by Sam Shields.
And here's one of the changes we've seen over the last couple of weeks. You want to get a bigger body inside. It's Clay Matthews moved to the inside linebacker spot, and then also the ability to rush from that spot, and he gets the hit right as Teddy Bridgewater lets that ball go. Almost an interception for Sam Shields.
So now 3rd down and 6 for the Vikings. They must get to the 22 for a first down. Jennings in motion. Bridgewater steps up on 3rd and 6. He dumps it off.
What a great second effort right there.
Yeah, great job by Banyard. He picks up a first down.
Teddy Bridgewater took another hit on this play.
Yeah, but you know, I love the fact, watch Teddy Bridgewater move up. I mean, you see a lot of young quarterbacks in the NFL looking to get out the back. He's always looking to move forward, takes the hit from Mike Daniels. Joe Banyard, look at that one-arm stab, the catch secured, and then the fight for the extra yardage to get the first down.
McKinnon checks back in, 1st and 10 from the 22, off the fake to McKinnon. Bridgewater throws, and it is Micah Hyde who makes a spectacular play to come up with the interception for the Green Bay Packers, his 2nd of the season.
Talk about throwing off the back foot all the time. Young guy, exactly what he did, Darryl. Should not be throwing this ball.
Micah Hyde with the pick, his 2nd in the last 3 games. 19th consecutive game with a takeaway for the Packers. So Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay offense once again with terrific field position from the 47-yard line. The handoff to Lacy, and he is into Vikings territory, still going. Eddie Lacy, there are now 2 flags as Lacy is finally forced out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
Well, if this is holding on Jordy Nelson, then I held on almost every snap in the NFL.
Everyone.
Because he doesn't get outside the framework of the body. To me, it looked like he was in tight, and you were always allowed to get in tight in the framework and hold.
Offense, number 87. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
Let's see if his arms get outside. So he's got him locked. Maybe it's because he's on the shoulder right there. If he was on the chest as opposed to being on the shoulder, but that's when I blocked and I got inside on somebody and had the jersey, you know, in the center of the chest area. That's, I mean, you just walk them and you hold them. And boy, I guess I shouldn't have get out on that corner on the shoulder. Now all of a sudden it's a completely different thing.
Well, following the penalty, it is first down and 4. From the 47 after the fake to Lacy. Rodgers finds Cobb, and Randall Cobb picks up a first. What a beautifully executed fake by Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and it holds Chad Greenway for just enough to get that ball to Randall Cobb, so he has the ability to run after the catch. Just that little flash to Eddie Lacy. Chad Greenway is a linebacker to the outside. That you can see him. Oop, he didn't hand it off. I got to get out there and get 18 now.
Tight end Rodgers shifts into the backfield from the 35. Another fake to Lacy. And now Rodgers throws wide open. Corliss, the tight end. And Andrew Corliss is down just shy of the goal line.
Just a nice play design. It's a clear out, and Andrew Corliss is going to drop in to the spot vacated by the deep route. Jordy Nelson carries everybody deep. It looks like he's going to go to the middle of the field. Harrison Smith's got a long way to come to try and make that play.
You saw his left knee was down. It's a 34-yard reception, longest of the season for Corliss. Setting up first and goal from the Vikings 1. Play clock at 2, and Rodgers is forced to call a timeout. With the play clock winding down, 5.5 to go. Second quarter in a 7-7 game. Well, all this week, feast on the biggest rivalries in college football. Beginning on Thanksgiving Day as 5th-ranked TCU battles Texas, followed on Friday by number 13 Arizona State and number 15 Arizona. Then Saturday, it's Notre Dame taking on 19th-ranked USC. It all begins Thanksgiving Day on Fox Sports 1, Fox, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Speaking of college football here, the home of the Golden Gophers. Very nice facility.
Impressive facility,
really is.
man. I'll tell you, up underneath, got a chance to walk around a little bit. The press box is giant. I mean, the atmosphere is really, you're missing that third level like in a pro stadium, but I like the horseshoe.
Stadium opened up in 2009. First and goal from the 1. Rodgers looking end zone. Now he throws across the field, wide open for the touchdown. It's Richard Rodgers. There is a flag.
There is a tremendous example of something that head coach Mike Zimmer talked about when you have to defend Aaron Rodgers. His vision is ridiculous. Now, I know by design of the play, there's a guy that's supposed to be going away from you.
Prior to pass, holding, defense, number 54. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
This is just unbelievable that he is able to find Richard Rodgers. I mean, he is wide open on the left side, but just the vision under duress with players in his face.
It is so hard to throw across your body like that, too. It's unbelievable. If you think it's easy, Moose, I suggest people out there, go out in your backyard, get a ball, and try and run one way and throw the completely opposite way.
So it's Rodgers to Rodgers. First NFL touchdown for the rookie third-round pick out of Cal. Aaron Rodgers, all smiles. 14-7 Green Bay. Short kickoff by Crosby. This is Thielen on the return for the Vikings. Adam Thielen out to the 37. With the Packers leading 14-7. Following the touchdown pass from Aaron Rodgers to Richard Rodgers. Rodgers' father, also named Richard, is the special teams coach for Carolina. Also played for Cal, like his son. He touched the ball twice during the play. Cal Stanford, 1982, Stanford band on the field. His dad involved in that play twice.
Where do you come up with this?
So now the Vikings go to work, trailing by 7. Out to the 40-yard line, McKinnon. We check in with Joel Klatt, Lions and Patriots. Joel.
Yes, sir, Kenny. Let's head up to New England. You know, Randy Moss went up and interviewed Tom Brady earlier this week. And Brady must be looking for number 81. It's Tim Wright's second touchdown of the day. It's 21-6 Patriots. They're absolutely handling Detroit. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
All right, thanks very much, Joel. Here in Minneapolis, under 5 minutes remaining, second quarter. Packers leading the Vikings 14-7. Bridgewater to McKinnon. Hawk on the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for Minnesota.
That's good execution there. Jerick McKinnon, the hot route with Clay Matthews on the blitz. But Green Bay just doing a great job with their pursuit. They've got 4 guys rallying around to make that tackle, led by A.J. Hawk.
Vikings 3 for 7 today on 3rd down. Also converted a big 4th down on their scoring drive. Bridgewater to the outside. It's a 1st down for the tight end, Kyle Rudolph.
He definitely has poise in the pocket for a young quarterback. Joe Banier's going to pick up the blitz by Clay Matthews as he loops around.
So Rudolph gains 11. And the Vikings are in Green Bay territory with 3.5 to play. Packers capitalized on a Bridgewater interception. Micah Hyde coming up with the pick. Packers with a 7-point lead. McKinnon wants to cut it back inside. Jerick McKinnon to the 44-yard line. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
Having had the opportunity to play in this offense that Norv Turner is installing here in Minnesota, you try to look for the pieces that were familiar on your team, and he says, it's a progression. We really, it's not about scheme, and a lot of people will talk about that, but it's about the players. And as we go through this, we've got to continue to add players into the playmaking spots. We've got to find the go-to guy, and he kind of referenced, go back to Green Bay last year, as explosive as that team was when Rodgers was out of the lineup. That is not the same system. So it's not just scheme, it's the players within the scheme, and that's what Minnesota's looking to add here.
On the slant, it's Cordero Patterson who picks up a Minnesota first down. His first reception today, gain of 10.
And he could be a key player in this offense moving forward. Now, this is a young wide receiver. You're talking about a guy over the last 4 years, a junior college, played 1 year at Tennessee. Last year, his rookie year. He's more of an athlete right now than he is a wide receiver. He's got to learn the nuances of the position and then be able to utilize that breakaway speed that he already has.
Went to the Pro Bowl last year as a return man. Now Bridgewater underneath to McKinnon as we hit the 2-minute warning with the Vikings on the move, trailing by 7 here in Minneapolis. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Following the 2-minute warning, with the Packers leading 14-7, 2nd down and 2 for Teddy Bridgewater. Now the Vikings from the 26. And McKinnon has a Minnesota first down.
You're trying to balance the fact that you need to have points on this drive, but you also don't want to leave Rodgers a whole lot of time in this situation at the end of the first half. They've played well here. They had the one situation where they got backed up and had to punt, and Green Bay took advantage of good field position. They had Teddy Bridgewater get a little bit impatient on the last possession and throw an interception, and they paid for that one. But all in all, Minnesota has executed well here in the first half.
Bridgewater 7 of his last 10, and remember the Vikings will get the ball first in the second half. A penalty marker is thrown as Bridgewater puts on a couple of fakes and then slides to the 16-yard line.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Offense, number 75. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Left tackle Matt Khalil.
Working against Jaron Elliott on the outside. It makes that little move right there. He gets off balance, and you reach up, and all of a sudden you find yourself with a handful of face masks. Look at the feet by Teddy Bridgewater there. Nice move on Sam Shields.
But the penalty forces the Vikings back to the 38. With 1:12 on the clock. First down and 25. Bridgewater under pressure, gets rid of it. McKinnon stumbling forward. And he's down at the 40, a loss of 2.
Trying to set up a screen, and Matt Khalil just allows pressure too quickly from the left tackle spot right here. This just allows Jaron Elliott to get there too fast, and it kind of throws off that timing. You don't have anybody out there, and credit Mike Daniels for recognizing that right away and getting into the throwing lane.
Bridgewater on second down, fires, and the catch is made by Johnson at the 22, and now the Vikings will use their first timeout. Charles Johnson, drafted by Green Bay a season ago, spent some time with Norv Turner in Cleveland last year. He has the Vikings touchdown today. 26 seconds remaining in the half. 3rd down and 8 for the Vikings from the Packers 21.
We've talked about somebody for Teddy Bridgewater to go to in tough situations. Looks like Charles Johnson could be establishing that role. He's out here on the top.
Pass is knocked down. Tramon Williams getting a hand on it. So now the Vikings with 21 seconds will send out the field goal unit.
A number of times here in the first half, we've seen Teddy Bridgewater a little high on the throws. Charles Johnson pushes it up. The timing off a little bit on that, and this is a timing-based offense. There's landmarks, there's steps, everything is kind of done in sync so the ball comes out on time.
So here's Blair Walsh. This a 39-yard attempt from the left hash. Kick is good. So the Vikings get 3 at the end of the first half and pull to within 4. And remember, Mike Zimmer deferred at the start of the game, so Minnesota will get the ball first following halftime. Coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Happy birthday to both Michael Strahan and Troy Aikman, who celebrated birthdays on Friday. Bit of a different story for the Packers today than the last 2 weeks, Darryl. They led at the half over the Bears 42-0 and the Eagles 30-6.
Well, you pointed out a good job by the Vikings offense there to get those points and also just to leave 16 seconds for Green Bay's offense here. And again, what they've been able to do here in the first half over the last 2 weeks, you just mentioned what the score, what the situation was at halftime. The running game kind of disappears in the second half. It's not viable at that point when you're down that far. You've basically become one-dimensional, and now you've played to the strength of the Green Bay Packer defense. So the Vikings have done a really nice job here in the first half of keeping that run game viable for the start of the second half.
Aaron Rodgers 9 of 14 with a touchdown pass. Teddy Bridgewater 11 of 22. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Rodgers will take an 8. Packers will take a 4-point lead into the locker room at halftime here in Minneapolis. Green Bay led 7-0 after 1. Packers by 4. Time for the Visa halftime report. We send you to Los Angeles. Kurt Menefee, take it away. Lacey over the top for a Green Bay touchdown. Bridgewater to the end zone, touchdown. He throws across the field, wide open. It's Richard Rodgers. Back in Minneapolis, Packers with a 14-10 lead as we get set to start the third quarter. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Aaron Rodgers, 9 of 14 of the first half, 127 yards. And the touchdown pass to Richard Rodgers. As we welcome you into the broadcast booth, and Darryl, after what we've seen from the Packers the last 2 weeks, the Vikings have to be pretty happy with the position they're in right now.
Yeah, not nearly as much excitement from Aaron Rodgers as we've seen in the previous 2 games. So they've come out, they've done that through the first half. Just the one hiccup by Teddy Bridgewater, got a little bit impatient, made the throw down the field that was intercepted. They turned that into 7 points. So the margin of error, again, will be small in the second half. Continue to string these first downs together, punt the ball, cover it, force Green Bay to work on that long field. As soon as they get a short field, they really strike quick. We saw it on the punt return, and we saw it on the interception.
First half numbers, pretty even. Vikings committing the 1 turnover you mentioned, and it led to a Green Bay touchdown. The decision by Mike Zimmer at the start of the game to defer. Vikings defense forced punts on the first 2 Green Bay possessions. Short kickoff. It's taken by Chase Ford out to the 39-yard line, so excellent field position for the Vikings, their best of the day. Goose.
Thanks, Kenny. Talked to Coach Zimmer about his first half performance. He wasn't really happy with Teddy's performance in the first half. He says he needs to be more accurate. He's a better quarterback than that. We need to keep changing things up on defense and keep Aaron off balance. Mike McCarthy also need to establish the run in the second half. The run is the secret to our success. Look for us to go and keep that ball on the ground and then get Aaron where he needs to be with those deep throws after we establish the run. So that's what both coaches said. We'll see what happens.
All right, thanks, Goose. We'll keep an eye on that. Bridgewater hands it off to McKinnon on first down. And McKinnon is across midfield into Packers territory, and there is a flag back at the 41-yard line.
Green Bay Packers losing contain, coming into the inside, getting out of your gap.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
That's Khalil again, his second penalty of the day, and he's had his struggles this season, Darrell. He's allowed a league-high 11 sacks.
Yeah, and right now it's just kind of mentally weighing on his mind. And, you know, you got to get back to the technique that you showed your rookie year. And there was a lot of promise for Matt Khalil after his rookie season. And for some reason here in this season, he's really struggled.
First-round pick, 4th overall back in 2012 out of USC. First and 18 following the penalty. Bridgewater under pressure. He steps up away from Peppers, now throws, and the catch is made by Jennings. Greg Jennings out to the 43-yard line. His second catch today. He gains 12.
Well, you know, Coach Zimmer may be disappointed in his accuracy, and he was a little high on some throws in the first half, but I've been impressed with his poise. He's looking for the deep ball there, looking. He can't find it. It's not open, and he gets a check down to Greg Jennings. I like the poise in the pocket by Teddy Bridgewater.
2nd and 7. Bridgewater hands it off to McKinnon. Out to the 45. Morgan Burnett, the tackle. It will be 3rd down and 4.
And, you know, you watch the college game today and you wonder how these young quarterbacks are going to respond when they get to the NFL. If they're in a traditional shotgun-only system, we see that the offense is looking to the sidelines for the information. And Norv Turner told us, he goes, listen, that's college. You bring those guys to the NFL and you have to start from a foundation. What do they possess as a quarterback with all the things that we need, as a thrower, as a decision maker? That's how you decide, not based on the system that they had.
Vikings must get to the 49. Bridgewater down back at the 38-yard line on the pressure from Mike Daniels.
And this is one of the areas where you've seen him move up in the pocket. You would expect Teddy Bridgewater to be a little bit more elusive in that situation, to recognize it collapsing, to get out of there, to keep those feet clean. So just some things that he's going to work on as he adjusts to the game at this level. But Norv Turner is impressed with a lot of the critical things that you have to do from the quarterback spot with Teddy Bridgewater.
First sack of the game on either side. 3.5 this season for Daniels as Locke drills it down to the 13-yard line. Hyde hesitated. Short return out to the 17. Audie Cole, the tackle on special teams. Packers lead by 4.
This game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Chevrolet. Find new roads. By Burger King. Mix and match 2 large premium sandwiches for just $5 only at Burger King. And by Bose, the official sound of the NFL.
Always something to do at the Mall of America here in Minneapolis. Look at what the Packers offense was able to do in the first half over the last 4 games. 29 points per game in the first half versus today as Lacey spins across the 25. Gains 9 on first down. Harrison Smith the tackle.
The Vikings continuing to play it in a way where Aaron Rodgers will lean on the running game. That's where the matchup is going to be. They're taking away the passing game. They're being conservative against this passing game with the positions of their safeties. 2 deep safety looks.
2nd down and 1. 3 receiver set. And Lacey picks up a first down out to the 29-yard line.
Looked like a little miscommunication between Aaron and Lacey. Aaron had a little bit of an exchange problem almost. Aaron comes out, he opens up to his left, and then he has to change to his right. Got it cleared up, though. Multi-talented man.
Rodgers looking to throw on first down. And coming back to make the catch is Nelson. He was ruled down at the 36. So a gain of 6 for Jordy Nelson.
Xavier Rhodes got caught watching it too. It was such a good catch. He's trying to figure out how he kept this off the turf.
And let's see, was Nelson touched by Rhodes? He gets up, starts running. It does not look like he was. Now Lacey on second down. And Eddie Lacy picks up another Green Bay first down out to the 43.
And I think the reason why people will focus on stopping Eddie Lacy is because of the style of his run. You know, they have a much more deeper respect for Green Bay's running game after last season, what he did, but it's also that style. When he gets rolling, he's like a Marshawn Lynch, Chris Ivory from the Jets. He's that physical, tackle-breaking, gets the whole offense excited, gets the whole team excited if you let him roll.
He set a franchise rookie record last season. Rushed for over 1,100 yards. Went to the Pro Bowl. There is a flag as Lacy is bottled up by Everson Griffin.
Holding. Offense, number 69. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Left tackle David Bakhtiari.
Yeah, Everson Griffin's doing a nice job. You know, he 9 sacks coming into the game. And what I'm impressed with is just a complete package up there in the defensive line. A great play against the run, getting that penetration, tripping up Eddie Lacy in the backfield.
Yeah, even after he got mugged there.
Griffin, the NFC Defensive Player of the Month in October. Even after losing Jared Allen, the Vikings third in the league in sacks with 30. They did not have a sack today and were blanked last week by the Bears. On the screen, it's Lacy. And Lacy is across midfield, picks up a first down. For the Vikings 43, there is another flag. Lacy gains 24, but it's coming back.
And that's really where he's...
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 17. The 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
Davante Adams.
Yeah, and Eddie Lacy really starting to get some attention because of his ability in the passing game. Pass protector, and then here on the screen we'll see where Davante Adams on the outside right there. You can see him. It's just technique. You can't get beat to the inside. You know it's a screen play. It's coming to your side. So make sure you have inside leverage on the person covering you. Don't let him beat you across the face and get to the inside of the play, or you're going to have to push him in the back.
He shoved Josh Robinson. So now it is 1st and 27 from the 26-yard line. James Starks in the backfield for Green Bay. Rodgers' pass is behind Davante Adams, who committed the penalty on the previous play.
And that will come with time. Aaron Rodgers looking for that back shoulder throw. You're going to get to a certain position in your coverage where it doesn't make sense to go stride for stride down the field in coverage. So that's that back shoulder throw, and it's just going to take time for a young receiver to develop that chemistry with the quarterback.
2nd down and 27. Empty backfield. 4 receivers plus the tight end Corliss. Rodgers moving to his right. Now he throws, looking for Starks. Robinson defending.
They really need to credit the 4 guys up front because they're able, you've got the linebackers walked in with Chan Greenway, Anthony Barr, but they're pulling out, they're getting into coverage. So that's just a 4-man rush, and it's continually gotten Aaron Rodgers off the spot during the course of the game today. They've got 7 people back in coverage.
Yeah, James Starks had him beat over the top, but Aaron could not get that ball thrown the way he wanted to because of the scramble on the outside. If he would have let it another 5 yards, he might still be running.
Now 3rd down and 27. Rodgers steps away from Griffin, slips, and is down. Back at the 24-yard line. Brian Robinson with the Minnesota sack.
And that's just a situation, you know, you're sitting at 3rd and 29, you're trying to get the ball downfield. Just find somebody shallow, throw it to them, let them run with it. Don't take the hit right here. You get out to the side, you're going to scramble. Anything can happen out there. It's a play well defended by Minnesota. Take what the defense is giving you and go on to the punt.
Bastay punting from his 13-yard line. Now a collision between Sherrills and Goodson. And the ball rolls all the way back to the 23-yard line. Did not look like Sherrills called for a fair catch. 39 Goodson downfield on the coverage.
He arrived before the ball arrived. Actually goes off Demetrius Goodson's head, not contact with Marcus Sherrills.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team number 39. Penalties 15 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, Minnesota.
So the Vikings with terrific field position following the penalty, trailing by 4. There's Brian Robinson, big sack on the last Green Bay possession.
He's mad at you, Kenny. What'd you say about him? Did you say something negative about him?
Upset with us? Well, his offense will try and give the Vikings the lead. They start from midfield. Bridgewater to Patterson. Cordero Patterson able to gain 8 on first down to the Packers 42.
And I think that this is one of the ways you have to start your game as well. Cordero Patterson, get him involved. You know, do these little jump back bubble screens on the outside. Allow him to use his athleticism as he grows as a receiver, as he starts to learn the intricacies of running the routes and getting off press and does something more than just flat out foot speed. You know, you've got to find opportunities to get the ball in his hands.
Off the fake to Banyard, the pass is batted back by Clay Matthews.
Coming from the outside, number 52. Seen a couple times, you're trying to adjust that on a hot route. If you're going to let the blitzer go instead of picking him up in protection, there has to be an adjusted route for that ball to come out quicker. Good job by Clay Matthews getting in the middle of that throwing lane.
On third down and 2. Banyard able to pick up a first.
Trying to pin everybody to the inside and get this thing kicked to the outside right away. Here comes Kyle Rudolph, pins the inside. Phil Loadholt out and around with a good block on Matthews there to let Joe Banyard get the edge.
3 carries, 22 yards for Banyard today. From the Green Bay 34, it's Banyard again. Up the middle, wrapped up by Morgan Burnett. This time he gains just 1.
That's a good play coming down to the outside and squeezing it to the inside. There's Morgan Burnett stand up at the end of the line of scrimmage. They've got nobody to account for him. He's able to slide in and make that tackle.
Yeah, they tried to bring Charlie Johnson around on the pull, but he's got to keep coming. Burnett does a nice job of going, ducking up underneath and making it.
Second down and 9. Bridgewater on the slant. He was looking for Johnson.
And again, there's some of that accuracy that Coach Zimmer wanted to see improved here in the second half. It's going to be cleared up by Rhett Ellison on the initial slant, and you got to get that on the body a little bit more.
Well, we saw earlier in the day, you know, Teddy actually looking off. One thing he hasn't, he's been looking exactly where he's throwing here in the second half on all the passes that I've seen so far. So he needs to get back to going looking to the left, throwing right to go and get those linebackers out of the way and open up a little bit for those receivers.
Third down and 9. Bridgewater throws and is unable to connect with Johnson, who is wide open.
And we saw one of these earlier, and this is one of these opportunities to make a big play. It's going to be kind of a double move. You're going to go down in and then back out. You're going to sell that post and then break to the corner. You get you spin Sam Shields right into the ground. You got Charles Johnson standing there wide open, and you just can't make the connection.
So here is Walsh. This will be a 51-yard attempt. In his career, he is 16 of 20 from 50-plus from the right hash. Walsh connects yet again from 50-plus. pulling the Minnesota Vikings to within 1.
Today's game is sponsored by DreamWorks Penguins of Madagascar in 3D, Wednesday only in theaters.
We are back in Minneapolis with producer Barry Landis, director Brian Lilly, Kenny Albert, Daryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Following the 51-yard field goal by Walsh, it is now a 1-point game. Packers will start from their 20 when we return to Minneapolis. The Green Bay Packers lost 2 of their first 3 games, and what was Aaron Rodgers' message to the fan base?
Relax. I mean, it was one of the more prophetic statements. You know, it was just the environment. It was the way the team was playing. He said, we're fine at that time. And he may have to say it again after today because there were expectations in this game for Green Bay to continue to play that way. I don't think it has anything to do with them not being at Lambeau. This is a divisional game. Mike Zimmer knows this offense well. He's played it before. This is a group that played well at times the first go-around. So a credit to what the Minnesota Vikings defense is doing here throughout this game.
Packers 6-1 since Rodgers told everybody to relax. Second down and 11. Rodgers' pass is caught and Nelson breaks free, but there is a flag.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 98. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, Green Bay.
Linval Joseph, the former New York Giant.
I don't know about that. Yeah. I mean, he touched him. I mean, he probably could have avoided him, but
It's one of those ones, Tony, where you just don't give him the opportunity to throw the flag.
yeah.
He's got the crown lowered. It's just frustration. I mean, he's elusive. He's break and contain. You got 4 guys. I mean, you're busting your butt all day, and you're just not getting there for the sack.
You are. You got to pull up. You got to pull up. It's just a very gray area sometimes. You know, the quarterback sells it really well. He can get it every time he gets touched.
Rodgers' pass is nearly picked off by Harrison Smith. It was intended for Andrew Corliss.
See if that shoulder's all right. Boy, he was fully extended as he went for that interception. Oh, almost.
Corliss looks like he slowed down a little bit in his route. If he would have just kept running, he would have been right there. Never know when the ball's coming to you.
Rodgers on second down, complete to Cobb. And he's wrestled down by Captain Munnerlyn. He was ruled down before the ball was knocked free. Gain of 4 on the play for Cobb.
The poor ball guy on the sideline. Players were yelling at him, get out of the way when the ball's there, but the official was blowing the whistle. The ball was dead. Poor guy's got 2 giants next to him. I'm sorry.
And he's on the Vikings sideline.
Yeah.
Rodgers on 3rd and 6. Complete for a first down to Cobb. Randall Cobb to the Vikings 35, a 13-yard connection.
This is tough duty. You're asking your wide receiver to come into the middle of the field. A lot of courage on this route because you know you're running that slant, that skinny post. You know the safety's dropping down. You know you're going to get hit right after you catch this. Well done by Randall Cobb.
Couple of fakes by Rodgers. And now he throws it out of bounds in the vicinity of Cobb as we head to Los Angeles for a game break. Joel Klatt. Joel?
Hey, Ken, let's go to Chicago. That once potent Bears offense, well, they just got on the board in the 3rd quarter. Cutler to Alshon Jeffrey, 2-yard TD catch. 10-7 Buccaneers and Lovie Smith's return to Chicago. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
All right, thanks, Joel. The Bears played each of these teams over their last 2 games. Lost to the Packers 55-14, and then beat the Vikings last week 21-13. Play clock at 1. Rodgers hands off to Lacy, bounces it to the outside, but then he is tackled beautifully by Harrison Smith.
That's a great shoestring tackle.
A couple of things that Mike Zimmer said his team had to do well is number 1, play tight coverage. We see that a number of times today. The other thing, tackle well after the catch or getting after Eddie Lacy, and they have really done a nice job all afternoon in all those areas. Obviously, you can't be perfect. There's been a couple breakdowns here and there, but for the most part, this Minnesota defense done everything that Mike Zimmer has asked them to do.
3rd down at 11. Packers must get to the 25. Quick release by Rodgers. It's Nelson. And Mutterland able to make the tackle at the 30. So the Packers will send out the field goal unit and look to extend this 1-point lead. Mason Crosby out to attempt a 48-yard field goal.
He's got the wind to his back also, guys. The wind is blowing from your right to left.
From the left hash, Mass State places it down, and Crosby's kick from 48 is good. So the Packers, late 3rd quarter, now lead by 4. 48-yard Mason Crosby field goal, 9-play, 50-yard drive. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers lead the Vikings by 4. Packers at 7-3. Tied with the Detroit Lions, who trail New England 27-6. 3rd quarter in Foxborough. Patterson on the return for the Vikings. Cordero Patterson out to the 37. And he remains down following his 42-yard return.
See what happens at the end of this run. Morgan Burnett, the safety, he's on the top of the shoulder and pulled down, and then he gets rolled up, and then you've actually got Sam Barrington coming on, so he's got the weight of 2 players on top of him. Good to see him up. He's up jumping around, though. Didn't look good when he went down.
Last year, Patterson returned the kick 109 yards against the Packers. Tied for the longest play in league history. So the Vikings trailing by 4, start from their 37-yard line. This is McKinnon, who picks up 11 and a Vikings first down.
Again, it's one of the things that Norv Turner said to us. You know, we've got to play well as a team so the run game can still be an option for us in the second half. And the fact that they're able to hand the ball off here on first downs and be productive, very critical to their success.
We talked about Aaron Rodgers saying the word relax. That's one thing his defense can't do. It looks like right now they're too relaxed. They need to go and make something happen, turnover, or at least stop that line of scrimmage and make a wall up there, because right now they're getting rolled.
Longest run of the day for McKinnon. Here's McKinnon again off the stutter step into Packers territory to the Green Bay 48.
Well, you had Clay Matthews on the run through, and Jerick McKinnon almost found his way exactly back to where Clay Matthews had left. See right there, the little hop step to that side, and then I'm going to get right back where you just left.
Bridgewater on 2nd and 4. Under pressure. Down he goes. Back at the 45-yard line. Micah Hyde coming through. Hyde with an interception earlier. And now a sack.
That's one of the big things for young running backs in the NFL, and it's pass protection. And Jerick McKinnon's going to come across, but he's just in bad position. and he allows Micah Hyde to get back to the inside. Take away that inside shoulder. You want to take away the inside shoulder, make the blitzer run a bubble up and around beyond the pocket. Never give him the opportunity to come across and get inside of you in protection.
Second sack of the game for the Packers, now 3rd and 11. Final minute, 3rd quarter. Vikings must get to the Green Bay 43 for a first down. Bridgewater can't find anyone, slides to midfield. And the Vikings will punt it away.
A good job by the Packer defense right here. Little stacked release with Cordero Patterson, Greg Jennings. You can see everybody's covered. Everybody's blanketed across the field. And even when Teddy Bridgewater pulls it down right there, they do a good job retracing, getting back into coverage.
That offensive line from Minnesota also nice stopping that defensive line from getting any kind of pressure. Had a lot of time back there, Teddy.
Time winds down. 3rd quarter comes to an end here in Minneapolis. So the Packers will get the ball back. They lead the Vikings by 4. We start the 4th quarter in Minneapolis. Green Bay Packers lead the Minnesota Vikings 17-13. Randall Cobb back deep for the Packers. Awaiting Jeff Locke's punt. Low snap. Cobb drifting to his right, takes it at the 9. Short return. Good coverage downfield by Captain Mutterlin. Well, Fox Sports Supports is proud to work with Got Your Six, a campaign that creates opportunities to bring veterans and civilians together and inspires Americans to understand the unique skills and values our veterans bring to our communities upon their return home. Visit FoxSportsSupports.com to learn more.
It's been an amazing salute to service during the course of the game today. All 4 branches represented at the halftime. We've seen several veterans singled out with tribute to them during the course of the game. Had a couple of World War II veterans, which is awesome to see.
He's actually a prisoner of war for 4 years, Darryl. Wow. They honored him.
Packers start from their 13-yard line as Rodgers hands it off to Lacy. Lacy gains a yard. 2nd and 9 coming up. Green Bay at 7-3. Back-to-back 50-point games coming into this one. Rodgers' numbers today. Touchdown pass to Richard Rodgers in the 2nd quarter. Lacy with 70 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Randall Cobb, 4 receptions, 58 yards. On 2nd down, the fake to Lacy. Rodgers to the outside. And there is a flag out at the 32.
I'm just so impressed how quick he can go from being on the run to releasing the football.
Yeah, he gets his body set extremely quickly. Good base on the ground.
Holding defense number 24. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down, Green Bay.
Good base on the ground to get that ball off.
A holding call on the left corner, Captain Mutterlin. Grabbed hold of Andrew Corliss. Rodgers knocked down by the rookie out of UCLA, Anthony Barr. So it's 1st and 10 for the Packers from their 20 following the penalty. First down handoff to Lacy. And Lacy falling forward out across the 22.
Now they've continued to do a really nice job on this outside zone run. They've just never allowed Eddie Lacy to get to the point where he can plant his foot, make that one cut, and get downhill. Everybody keeps their position. They stay square. They keep moving to the outside and press them all the way to the sideline.
And the pursuit to the ball is awesome. All the guys, all 11 guys are running to the ball. That's, just eats up all those little gaps that Lacy can go and usually find. Can't find them today.
Lacy only 2 yards, Goose, on his last 4 carries. 2nd down and 8. Rodgers to Nelson. And another nice tackle, this one by Josh Robinson. So the Packers now facing a 3rd down and 2.
Another big thing this Viking defense has done a nice job of. How many deep balls have we seen Aaron Rodgers complete over the last couple of games, and really not anything today that was big. He had a big screen to Eddie Lacy that got called back on a penalty, but doing a real nice job protecting that deep ball.
His longest completion, 34 yards to the tight end, Corliss. Third down and 2. Rodgers to Nelson for a first down. Jordy Nelson out to the 40-yard line. Packers need 2, and Nelson gains 11.
That's scary because he always hits them dead in stride. He was running a little slant route right here. You're going to get to the inside, press that outside shoulder across on the release, and hit in stride. And now you've got Jordy Nelson on the run coming to the center of the field. Robert Blanton with a good tackle there to clean that up.
First and 10 from the 40. Rodgers going deep for Nelson. And getting a hand in at the last instant was Josh Robinson.
And this is the defense that you get the big plays down the field. You've only got a single safety in the middle of the field, so he's got to work both sides, and you get Jordy Nelson with the right play called. He's going vertical, and you can see Harrison Smith was going to be a little bit late getting there. They've been frustrating Aaron Rodgers this afternoon in the passing game. Seen that response on several occasions.
Second and 10. Lacy out to the 44-yard line. It will be 3rd down and 6.
It's just so different when you get into these divisional games, and one of their big games was against Chicago. That's a divisional opponent. I think they caught Chicago at a good time, had that big offensive output that day. You get Philadelphia last week, and the things get away from you again, and everybody's thinking, well, here goes the Packers, they're on a roll, and then all of a sudden you get to that opponent that really knows you well right now. Mike Zimmer's defense has done a heck of a job this afternoon.
Packers must get to midfield for a first down. Rodgers on 3rd and 6, steps up, has room, picks up a first down and more. Aaron Rodgers out of bounds at the Minnesota 38. That's an 18-yard run for Rodgers, his longest this season.
And if you're going to bring both your backers, you have to understand that you've got to get home. If you don't get home, if you bring everybody and you allow Aaron Rodgers to the outside, you're in man coverage. There's going to be a ton of room for him to run. He recognizes it right away, pulls the ball down.
And he also signaled that that might be the one on Fox Sports 1 as he was running for the first.
Nice, Kenny, nice.
Took you 12 weeks to get it in.
Beat Goose to the punch.
Yeah, he got it.
Rodgers near side, Nelson. And Jordy Nelson is tackled at the 30-yard line by Josh Robinson.
He needs to get up and give a little pat to the head to Randall Cobb on that one, because he had a heck of a block to keep Jordy Nelson clean on that play.
A little better rhythm on this drive right here. The passing game, the running game really wasn't working. They just put it in Aaron's hands a little bit, brought in better protection, and he's taking control of this drive right here. Let's see what happens.
Second down and 2. Inside handoff to Lacy, and Lacy breaks free for a first down and more. Eddie Lacy to the Vikings 15. Robert Blanton finally made the tackle as Lacy gains 15.
A good job by the guys up front. Everybody staying on their man, and they create just enough of a crease for Eddie Lacy to squirt through. Right there. Anthony Barr just a little bit outside. There's that cat and mouse game that's been going on at the line of scrimmage with Aaron Rodgers and this Viking defense that will change their stunts and their blitzes according to what the quarterback is doing.
10th play of the drive for the Packers. From the 15, it's Lacy.
But to me, this is what makes Green Bay dangerous, is they can get you quickly. They can have the 3-play, 4-play scoring drive from 80, 85 yards out, or they can get into this style and just pound you with Eddie Lacy, the short passing game. Timely runs by Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and take time off the clock. See it right there up on the top left. 5 minutes, 53 seconds so far. 10-play drive.
Lacy's only 100-yard game this season came against the Vikings at Lambeau back in October. He is now at 98 yards today. Second down and 5. Rodgers shovel pass. Lacy inside the 5, spins to the goal line. Touchdown. His second of the day.
That's scary when you can do either way to get to the end zone. The explosive play with chunk yards or just a physical style, and this is the guy that has brought that to this Packer offense.
Ruled a touchdown on the field. All scoring plays are reviewed.
Previous play is under review.
So Clete Blakeman will take a look at it. Ruled a touchdown on the field. Looks like Lacy broke the plane.
Each Game on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. By Budweiser, America's smoothest lager. And by State Farm. Pump up your savings with a discount double check today.
We await the call from referee Clete Blakeman. Here it comes.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands as calls. It is a touchdown.
Second touchdown of the day for Eddie Lacy of the Packers.
Remember, going into the end zone, all that ball has to do is break the front of the white on the goal line. It doesn't have to go all the way across. Coming out of the end zone to prevent a safety, that ball has to be all the way outside that white line. But going in, it just has to break that initial plane.
And for Aaron Rodgers, that is his 30th touchdown pass of the season, his second today. 30 touchdowns, 3 interceptions for Rodgers.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable how he's played.
Biggest lead of the day for Mike McCarthy and the Green Bay Packers. 2 touchdowns today for Eddie Lacy. He had 38 yards on the last Packers drive. 11 plays, 87 yards. Green Bay leading by 11. It is Sherrills on the return. Remember, Patterson shaken up on that last return from Minnesota. Marcus Sherrills takes it out. Jamari Lattimore the tackle. Well, the Packers coming into this game, back-to-back 50-point games. 5th time it's been done in history. Twice in 1950, and then each of the last 3 years. And on the bottom, what each team did in that 3rd game. The next game after scoring 50 2 times in a row, and the Seattle Seahawks scored the most points the following week with 42 against the 49ers. Packers with 24 today. Lead by 11. From the 21-yard line, Teddy Bridgewater in his 7th start. Complete to the tight end, Rhett Ellison. Clay Matthews the tackle. Gain of 5.
They've been able to respond after Green Bay has had scoring drives during the course of the game today. We'll see how Teddy Bridgewater does with his group on this possession.
Vikings have had some productive 4th quarters. 3 times this season they've scored 14 or more in the 4th. It is Ellison again. And Rhett Ellison picks up a Vikings first down with just under 8 minutes remaining. Bridgewater, 50% completion rate. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. 54 yards on the ground for McKinnon. And the former Packer Charles Johnson with his first career score. From the 32 on first down. Bridgewater dumps it off. It's Banyard. And Joe Banyard gains 6 out to the 38-yard line.
Green Bay has done a nice job of taking away the intermediate and the deep routes, and they're forcing Teddy Bridgewater to check the ball down. Again, I've mentioned this. I like his poise in the pocket. He's a young guy. He continues to move forward. You can see his eyes right there. He's scanning the right side of the field, trying to see what's there. And we saw him get impatient one time in the first half, throw the interception, but the majority of the game he's made good decisions.
Another completion. This one to Banyard. He picks up a first down. Bridgewater, the last pick in the first round. Third quarterback taken behind Brett Bortles and Johnny Manziel. Grew up in the Miami area. Told us he enjoyed watching Dan Marino, but his favorite quarterback of all time, Brett Favre.
How many times do we hear that?
Every young guy says that, right?
You know, I think one of the big things was the way that Brett Favre played the game. You know, he had so much fun when he was on the field.
And is that you saying so in 4 or 5 years, all the young quarterbacks are going to be saying, Aaron Rodgers was one of my favorite.
He has a good time out there.
Yeah, he's always smiling.
Now Bridgewater takes off. And he is down on the slide at the 47. Remember, if you slide feet first, it's where you first hit. That's where you are ruled down. So Bridgewater about 1.5 yards shy of a first down. 3 wide receivers set for the Vikings. They keep it on the ground and pick up a first down to the Packers 44. Banyard, who had never carried the ball in an NFL game prior to today's, in his second season, and he's done a nice job.
He really has.
Averaging over 5 per carry.
And that's after a busy week, you know, with Matt Asiata out and Jerick McKinnon nursing that sore back.
Mike Harris has just replaced Phil Lodeholt at right tackle prior to this play. Bridgewater under pressure. Saw Peppers right in front of him. That's an imposing figure when you look to throw and Julius Peppers is right there in your face.
That's one of the guys you can't outrun, Julius Peppers.
Again, we've seen really nice coverage from both of these defenses today. Tramon Williams stride for stride down the sideline there. Nowhere for Teddy Bridgewater to go with the football. Both secondaries played well today. Julius Peppers, I mean, the athleticism is just off the charts for somebody that's that big.
Coverage, pass rush, play the run, does it all.
He's got interception returns. He's running away from running backs at that size.
Named after Dr. J, Julius Erving, and the athleticism is carried over.
Game is sponsored by the new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The next big thing is here.
Is that Jay Glazer on the right?
Not big enough.
No?
Yeah,
No.
too tall.
Too thin.
Yeah, he's over 5'4".
5.5 remaining here in Minneapolis, 2nd and 10. For the Vikings, who trail by 11. Bridgewater over the middle, complete to Johnson. Burnett the tackle. But Johnson awarded the first down on forward progress.
A couple of crossing routes underneath to pull the linebackers up, opens up Charles Johnson, that intermediate level.
From the 33 on first down. Bridgewater shuffles to his left. Now throws. And it is broken up. Intended for Jennings. Clinton Dix able to break it up.
Well, he had an interception in the first half because he got a little impatient. Here he's going to be sliding to his left, and he's going to throw the ball back into the middle of the field on the right. That's dangerous.
Tenth play of the drive for the Vikings. 2nd and 10. Bridgewater steps up. He was grabbed as he got rid of the football, and a flag is thrown.
Yeah, there's going to be a holding call also.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
Khalil, his 3rd penalty today.
You know, once you get beat on the outside, you just got to let him go. And Khalil right here, he gets beat on the outside by Neal and just grabs him. And if you go down to the ground, it doesn't even have to be a grab. We talk about this all the time. If the officials see the defensive guy after he's beaten the offensive lineman go down to the ground, the flag's coming out.
Matt Khalil, he needs to just stay square to the line of scrimmage a little bit longer. He's really kind of releasing that left shoulder, turning that. He's allowing that defensive rusher to turn that corner a little bit too soon.
From the 43 on 2nd and 20. Bridgewater throws, and the catch is made by the tight end Rudolph at the Packers' 27-yard line. A 16-yard completion.
Well done by Teddy Bridgewater. He's going to break contain. He's going to get outside. He's going to reset his feet on this throw. So he's coming off of a nice platform, and you can see the delivery right to Kyle Rudolph. And again, you can see he's definitely not 100% coming back from that injury earlier this year, but getting it out. I think once he gets healthy, if it's this season or next season, he's going to be an important cog in this offense moving forward. The tight end, very important in Norv Turner's system.
Timeout taken with 4:47 to play. Mike McCarthy has challenged the last play, the catch by the tight end Rudolph, who was ruled a catch on the field. And we bring in Mike Pereira in Los Angeles. Mike, what did you see?
Well, I think it's a catch because he gets controlled 2 feet down, makes a football move, and then he's knocked to the ground. He's not going to the ground in the process. So to me, the fact that the ball comes out when he hits the ground is not really relative.
The receiver gained complete control of the ball inbounds and made a move common to the game. Therefore, he completed the catch inbounds. The ruling on the field is confirmed, and Green Bay will be charged with its first timeout.
Yeah, Mike, did Cleve Blakeman call you while he was under the hood? Sounded very familiar.
No, it's a little Morse code here than we have going on here inside the studios, you know.
Well, the language from Cleve nearly identical to that of Mike Pereira. Thanks, Mike. So it is a catch. 3rd down and 4 from the Packers' 27. Movement prior to the snap.
Take a look and see who jumped first.
I just don't know why the center doesn't snap the ball right now.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 96. A 5-yard penalty is sufficient for a first down.
It was Mike Neal. So a new set of downs for the Vikings. First and 10 from the Green Bay 22. Bridgewater throws, and it's Jennings. Greg Jennings inside the 10-yard line. And the Vikings are in the red zone, Darryl, for the first time today.
Yeah, nice catch by Greg Jennings again. Teddy just a little bit off on his accuracy today. Get that ball out in front. He's got it on the back shoulder, but Greg Jennings he went up and made a big catch for him in the first half. That one's on the back shoulder into traffic.
First and goal from the 9. Bridgewater steps up, can't find anyone. He's inside the 5 and then tackled by Micah Hyde.
Again, I like the fact that he's always moving forward. And there's been no adjustment by Green Bay to clog that middle, get those 2 big tackles there. And then there's some athleticism, some elusiveness from Teddy Bridgewater afterwards to gain some yards.
Second and goal from the 5-yard line. Johnson in the slot. Ellison in motion. 13th play of the drive. Bridgewater backpedaling. He throws. Touchdown, Jennings.
That's a nice response by this Vikings offense. Long drive down the field. Nice job, Teddy Bridgewater there with the inability to step up because Green Bay does flood that area and not allow him to come in. You can see all the players they've got committed to the center of that pocket, so he has to now buy time drifting backwards. He's able to get enough time to get the ball to Greg Jennings.
You know, Greg Jennings going against his old team was not going to drop that ball, Moose.
No.
He looked that one and made sure that was a catch.
And now the all-important two-point conversion to make this a three-point game.
For Jennings, his first touchdown against his former team. Vikings go for two. Bridgewater to the end zone. It's Johnson. There is a flag. Flag back at the 15-yard line as Bridgewater finds Johnson for the two-point conversion.
Not a smart play at all by Mike Neal.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 96. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The two-point conversion is good.
And one of the great things about Norv's offense is once he finds something that beats you, he's going to stay with it, and he's just going to window dress it differently. On the touchdown, it was Greg Jennings coming across the field, and he was wide open. Here's the two-point play, and it's Charles Johnson, and there's the hit that Tony was talking about.
Yeah, he took an extra step and a half. The ball's out.
So will be assessed on the kickoff, the penalty committed by Mike Neal.
And if they didn't get that, if they didn't make that or drop the ball or something, they're going to give him another opportunity to go and get another two-point conversion.
So a 13-play, 79-yard drive, first two-touchdown game for Teddy Bridgewater as the Vikings on the two-point conversion have pulled to within 3.
I wonder what they're going to do with this kick here. I think it's going to be interesting to see. I'm not thinking about an onside kick, but with Blair Walsh, she's going to kick it deep. You just allow him to kick it through, start at the 20-yard line. Do you try and get cute? Do you try and do one of these little bloop kicks down into one of the corners and maybe catch Green Bay in a position where you can get the ball or you can get a tackle made inside the 10-yard line? I would not onside kick it.
So Walsh from the 50 sends it deep. So the Packers with a 3-point lead will start from their 20. Week 12 continues later today on CBS and for some of you on Fox. Then tonight, Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. Couple of touchdown passes for Rodgers. Coming off the back-to-back 50-point games. Packers find themselves ahead by 3, and in many of the recent games, Rodgers has not even been in the game at this point. Here's Lacy. Gain of 3.
And this is the time that having a guy like Eddie Lacy in the backfield really pays dividends. This is that 4-minute offense, that special part of the game where you're trying to just run this clock out, not give the Minnesota Vikings an opportunity to get their offense back on the field. Eddie Lacy is going to give you a great opportunity to do that.
And you got Coons in right there, the fullback, who's like having another offensive lineman in the backfield to open up holes for Lacy.
So for Lacy, it's his second 100-yard game this season, both against the Vikings. Second down and 7. It's Lacy again. Lacy out to the 28. Everson Griffin, the tackle. And now the Vikings will use a timeout with 2:31 remaining. And the Packers leading by 3, so a big play coming up. If the Vikings stop the Packers here defensively, then Minnesota will get the ball back.
Well, we talked about what they had to do in the first half, and they did a tremendous job of doing that, really kind of slowing that Packer offense down. But it's a 60-minute game. I've been so impressed by the play of the Minnesota Vikings here again in the second half, and the response that they've had offensively. Green Bay's moved the ball, gone down the field, taken the lead, and Minnesota has been able to respond right back down and score points on these drives. So it's all going to come down to this play. They've got big Eddie Lacy in the backfield, and that Vikings defense has played well all afternoon. We'll see if they've got one more good snap in them.
You need to be careful, though. You just can't play the run 100%. Remember, you got receivers out there. Jordy Nelson, that's a guy you got to keep an eye on because Aaron Rodgers and him are on like the same wavelength.
Third down and 2. They keep it on the ground with Lacy, and he picks up a first down out to the 32-yard line.
I like the call because you've got your linebackers walked up into that front, expecting pass like Tony's saying. They're not in a good position to take on the blocks, so that surge by the offensive line of the Green Bay Packers with a linebacker in a 2-point stance that's just about 1.5 yards off the ball. You can see Anthony Barr right there getting washed to the outside. I like the play call running right into where those stand-up linebackers were in the A-gaps.
We hit the 2-minute warning. New set of downs for the Packers. Vikings can stop the clock just once. 3-point lead for the Packers. 2 minutes remaining. Vikings have 1 timeout. So if the Packers do not pick up a first down, Minnesota can get the ball back with under a half minute on the clock. First and 10 from the 32. The handoff to Lacy following the fullback Kuhn. And Lacy with a push is out to the 37, a gain of 5. And now the Vikings will use that final timeout.
Now, the scary thing about this Packer offense now is they can beat you with a passing game like they did last week against the Philadelphia Eagles. But if you choose to take away that running game, they now have Eddie Lacy. And he has been the key this afternoon. The way that Minnesota defended this offense gave him the opportunities. You can see what he did with that. 24 carries for 115 yards. 1 touchdown rushing. That's what makes this Packer offense scary, in my opinion, and this team in general. They can beat you quickly like they have the last 2 weeks, and they grind it out in a physical game like they have this afternoon.
So now Minnesota out of timeouts. The handoff to Lacy, and Lacy picks up a first down, and that will do it. The Packers will be able to run out the clock. Minnesota with no timeouts remaining.
It's kind of funny talking with Aaron Rodgers on Saturday, and we asked him, why do you think you guys have been so successful offensively? And he said, well, what did Coach McCarthy have to say? I said, well, he didn't really mention you. He had a lot of nice things to say about Eddie Lacy, and we had a good laugh and talked, and he has a tremendous amount of respect. He's like, listen, he goes, I know how much defenses have to respect this guy in the backfield, and it really allows me to play the game differently this year. I think that this aggressive passing game that Green Bay has implemented this season is a big result of people trying to take away and respecting Eddie Lacy right there in the run game.
Yeah, and it makes those offensive linemen also. When you have a run game and you know you're going to pound it and ground it a little bit and get that push, it makes it easier for an offensive lineman to come off the ball and keep those defensive linemen guessing. When you just go back and you pass, 60, 70 times a game, it just becomes too much of a finesse game and too easy for that defense to read exactly what you're doing. With that 1-2 punch like you talked about, Darryl, I tell you, it makes it really hard as a defense to figure things out.
So the Packers go to 8-3. Detroit losing late in New England. For Mike McCarthy, regular season win number 90. That's one more than Vince Lombardi, trailing only Curly Lambeau in franchise history. Packers will host New England in a late game next Sunday. Vikings drop to 4-7. They will host the Carolina Panthers. So the Packers don't score 50, but they pick up the win by 3 over the Vikings. We'll return to Minneapolis after these messages.